Well, guys,
we're here.
We're heading into the cave. Today we have traveled from Georgia to Lookout Mountain. We got caught up in traffic delays on I-75 North at Interstate 24, so we're running a bit late. I'm sure they'll let us go to the next one. Yeah. So I guess we're ready to go. So you don't have to have, oh, you just have your tickets on your phone. Mm-hmm. Wow. Excited?
We're ready.
Hey everyone, if I could have you squeeze over into that corner or this corner, pick a wall, any wall of your choosing. We just have people coming out of the elevator and we don't want you trampled.
Thank you.
Might get a little antsy, who knows?
You all ready?
Yep.
We're ready.
Yes.
Watch your step ahead. Use the handrails.
I'm ready. Hope you guys do enjoy it. Hello. We'll be on board.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody. I say all three because you can't tell the difference down here, so take your pick. It's going to be 5 o'clock somewhere, folks.
More than 300 million years ago, eastern Tennessee was under a shallow sea, and then as the Appalachian Mountains were formed due to uplifting, Ruby Falls was formed. Oh, I almost hit my head, so your head is probably a suspect.
Welcome to my office. As you can see, I've got some beautiful flat screen formations to my left and right, naturally occurring, of course, pretty ahead of their time, just me. They came with the game, you know.
Looking into a dark hole, deep inside a mountain. Sometimes the unknown is the greatest adventure.
Ruby Falls is a 145-foot waterfall that is located a little over 1,100 feet below the surface. And being a cave, Ruby Falls always maintains a temperature of 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
This is our cactus and candle. We call it that because it's shaped like a cactus with the wax-like luster of a candle. Specifically, is what we call a stalagmite. They're very similar to stalactites, which because they grow off the ceiling and the other goes off the ground. You can remember the difference because stalagmites, well, you might trip over. Stalactites hold tight to the ceiling. But folks, I've got an audio for y'all to listen to while this group passes by. It's a direct entry from Leo Lambert's diary, so you'll be hearing more about this formation, some of the formations around you, about their opening up for business and showing off some of them.
Ruby Falls was one of the first caves to install electrical lighting to allow visibility subterranean. many people have died down here?
How many people have died? I'm not positive on the amount of people died, but I can tell you there's remains of 4 people in here alone.
There's the remains of 4 people?
Yes, but the cave beneath us that Leo was originally trying to reach was the one that does have a little bit more history.
Really?
Since it's open versus the cavern being closed, artificially opened, it's a little bit more difficult. But they found remains of Native Americans down in the one beneath us, as well as some artifacts, Masonic artifacts, even a saber-toothed tiger skull.
Really?
But that cave is shut off, no longer open to public. It's because I think it was last year or two, someone actually made their way in there and then got lost, and it was like a $400,000 of search and rescue cost all by the sheriff's department, and it was something.
Have you has there ever been flooding down here because the rain is so bad that it actually floods?
So flooding is very infrequent, and when it does happen, it happens in areas closest to the water table, which would be over by our onyx jungle. So on very rare occasions, that flooding will happen. If it lasts more than a day or two, we'll bring in like a vacuum to get the excess water out. But for the most part, usually we kind of let it naturally drain. But
it's just a water table.
Yeah, pretty much. While we're waiting here, I'm going to go over a couple of common questions that I get asked about what we're seeing today. So first, where does all that water go? I mean, that's a lot of water. I mean, surely it just doesn't disappear. So it does not just disappear, folks. It goes down to the cave stream. That cave stream goes into the cavern, back this way again, back that one way, one more time, because it cannot make up its mind. Then it drops into a hole about 165 feet deep, making what Jonah's Bluff falls into the 3rd sub-level of our cavern. Now that part is not commercially toured, but they say all roads lead to Rome. Well, our streams all go to the river, and ours is no exception. It goes out to the Tennessee River, which starts our water cycle all over again. I will say, some people ask a little bit about the property, well, who still owns it? Well, it's no longer owned by the Lamberts. Hands transferred back in the 40s. It's suspect there's foul play, because like Leo went to pay the dues on the bank. He went over towards the end of the day and said, nope, we're closed, come back in the morning, right? He comes back in the morning, he's like, nope, you missed your payment. We're taking your property. Yeah. So with that in mind, it got sold off to 4 individuals, bidders. Now those, one of them families, the Steiner family, bought off those extra shares of the property. Now it's part of a Steiner family trust. There's always a certain number of Steiner families on the board of trustees at any given time. With that in mind, though, property is not owned by the Lambert family. However, the Lambert family still does have some roots on the mountain. If you keep going past that waterfall that you saw at the Lookout Mountain sign, there's a little gift shop. It's called Mountain Memories. It's actually owned and operated by Leo Lambert's granddaughter. Her name.
Chaito, do you like it?
Yeah.
You having fun?
Very beautiful.
Very beautiful? Yeah.
It's a new experience.
It's more beautiful than I remembered it being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been a while.
It's been a while. I don't remember as much color to it.
Ruby Falls was actually slated to become a national park at one point. The property was originally supposed to be sold off to an individual by the name of Mr. Ox. She was supposed to buy the property, give it to the government, and put Leo in charge as lifetime manager. But unfortunately, a day or two before the deal went through, Mr. Ox died. And never happened. And it's a job I genuinely enjoy this too, because I get to talk about what I love, I get to stay where I love, and it keeps me in 60-degree temperature, because I prefer cold over the heat, I'm telling y'all. Especially on hot summer days where the heat index is like 110, this job is the best. But believe it or not, as much as I talk about rocks, I'm not a geology major, I'm actually a music major, which is a really weird combination. I like to think that makes me a rock star though, so you know. There's 3 different cave systems in Lookout Mountain entirely. There's the one that we're in now, the Ruby Falls cave system. There's the Lookout Mountain cave system that Leo's originally trying to reach. And there's what's also called the Mystery Falls cave system, which personally I think is the coolest one. But it's very, very locked tight. 50-foot drop plunge waterfall. But the problem is you access it by the top because the entrance by the river got flooded. And you know, back in the early 2000s, a few teenagers wanted to make their way in, lower themselves to the bottom, but weren't quite as experienced or nearly as prepared as they needed to be.
They would go buy topo maps whenever there was a 1,000-foot elevation change next to water.
Yeah.
They would go there to look for a cave and find them most of the time.
That's understandable. I mean, honestly, if I had the free time, I'd be doing that kind of stuff. Hello. Someone say a skeleton? The only monster down here is me and the other tour guides with our dad jokes. Excuse us, y'all. Hope you all have a great tour, folks. Thank you. But over the summer, a while ago, my dad, a friend, and I went out to a cave a little bit south of Nashville called Snail Shell Cave. It's a preserve by the Southern Cave Conservancy. Go down to the second largest body of underground water. Wow. We took some kayaks down there, went downstream about 5 miles. Oh, gorgeous. Wow. Didn't work out, and we still had like an extra bit of rope. Had to go down and then drop.
Did they ever find an end to the Mammoth Cave?
Mammoth Cave is still continually going forward. It's about 400 plus miles. It's still being charted more.
I think they said that it goes all the way to Georgia.
I wouldn't be surprised. Mammoth Cave is legendary to say the least. I want to visit there in Carlsbad Caverns at some point in the foreseeable future, because Carlsbad forms through a different acidic process than most other caves. We're gonna make our way forward, but before we do, I want to point out over here on the corner, we have our beehive formations. There's no bees or honey, but if you listen, you will hear a slight buzz. I mean, this is usually where I get any stinging remarks about jokes, but you know, y'all can follow me this way. I'll let you in on a secret. There's some coral fossil up there too.
Huh?
Some fossil coral.
Oh.
Pretty neat. We
Coral.
found a lot of different fossils in here. All aquatic, of course. But that's probably the most prominent one to find. Trilobites were present, but they were removed just for conservation purposes. We also have our dragon's foot here with the leg and out to the walls being the talons, folks. But if you look up in the castle, because all the castle rock is used from excavated rock down here or the elevator shafts.
Oh, really?
So you can even spot some of those fossils in those bricks. It's pretty cool. Howdy, howdy, David. How's it going? Yep. Howdy, howdy, folks.
Well, I got the order wrong on the list.
All right. Y'all seen any rocks yet?
Lots of rocks.
A couple at least, right? That's your real warning. Over here on the right, we're going to have our mirror pool, folks. That magnesium content I mentioned earlier is what causes it to be extra reflective, hence the name mirror pool. Pretty cool stuff, but do not be fooled. If you drink it, it will not be nearly as reflective later. Watch your step, guys. Watch your step coming through here. It still gets a little slippery. But this would be the portion that probably would be most prone to flooding, so in this area here. Alright. I'm going to do another quick little pause here, just regroup up a little bit. Quick little pause, recollect up a little bit more. See, that would have been fun to have a whole group like do the la la la. I'd like cave tunes, marching around. Watch your sides. Our steak and potatoes. I like to think of this as our Hard Rock Cafe, and that's what we call well marbled steak. Get a thunderground applause for you for A, walking a mile, and B, dealing with my terrible jokes. Yay! But folks, finally, again, thank you all for coming. You've been great. If you like my tour, you know my name. It's Peter. If you didn't like my tour, my name's not Peter. It's Gertrude, and I don't work here. So, folks, y'all can follow me, and we'll get on to that elevator. Out at 2.
To say, you all probably don't use any walkie-talkies down here.
No. Outdoors team uses some walkie-talkies, but in here, no.
All right, Chaita, what did you think?
Of the cave in general?
Yeah.
It's cold.
It's cold.
Yeah. But also it's beautiful and it's very entertaining. So
it's cold, beautiful, and entertaining.
Yeah.
It has been a pleasure sharing with something new to discover at Ruby Falls.
Alright, folks, right this way, right this way.
Enjoy it.
First day? Of course, of course.